of weather modification is that if I modify the weather in one area, according to government documents, it is likely to have drought occur in another nearby area. So the PG&E modifying the weather in Plymouth County has caused drought conditions in Lassen County. So there's going to be a discussion about this soon because Aaron Brockovich got involved on this issue and another issue up in Plymouth County. So it's going to be in the news in the next couple of months because it's going through the process right now. But Lassen County is going to get involved because PG&E in enhancing the snow in Plymouth County has put them into drought rationing conditions in their area. You don't hear about these programs from your meteorologists, the weathermen, because if they were to tell you that these programs were ongoing and there was flash flooding, there was unusual lightning strikes from lightning experiments, if there was enhanced snow and problems from too much snow in an area or drought, these companies and these groups could be sued. So there's a secret going on that they don't want to talk about weather modification, or they'll tell you, well, we don't know if it works or not. But PG&E can definitely attest to the fact, and did so to John Feller of KTVU TV on the news and said, yes, it works. And whenever we want to take an additional 10% and put 10% more snow in the Sierra Mountains, we can do it anytime we want. So it's not just one area, one type of program, it's many. So now we have a problem because we have the jets changing the climate and we have weather modification programs changing the weather locally and the climate, and this impacts and has great consequences for future water supplies for some of us versus others. The reason it has such a consequence is who decides who gets and who doesn't. Who's going to have drought and who's going to have flood? Who's going to have more snow and who isn't? So there's many questions here, and we think that there should be some knowledge of this so people can begin to make decisions on what they want or don't want in their future. But I can tell you that your area could go into a drought condition because weather modification programs are reducing the amount of rain that you will get because they rain it out or have excessive snow elsewhere. To make matters worse, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange a few years ago decided that anyone can bet on the weather. So now I can take a listing of weather modification programs like PG&E in Plymouth County, and I can go down and bet that PG&E is going to have enhanced snow in Plymouth County. I can bet that there's going to be drought in Lassen County during some months because I know when PG&E is conducting the programs. It's a massive Ponzi scheme because the people that know can bet on a sure thing. The lists are available, the company is doing the weather modification is available, and all of a sudden we have a multi-billion-dollar betting business betting on futures. And I can tell you the farmers and the ranchers who don't know about the weather modification programs are beginning to bail out because they're losing. Whereas those that know, I could bet for sure right now today on just a list that is in the back of the room from NOAA on weather futures. And I could make a fortune, not because I'm doing, it's public record, but I could make a fortune on it because I know which programs and where they are and where they're conducting and whether they're enhancing snow and rain. So the bets are a sure thing. This is a racket. I'm going to tell you, and a lot of people are losing money when they start to bet on the weather. Some of you may have seen some recent photographs online where there's a cloud cover and then there's a hole in the cloud. And this is a United States Air Force photograph in 1973, and they were cloud seeding with aircraft using dry ice as a seeding agent. And so what it does, it looks to us like there's a hole in the clouds, and in other words, a little haze in there. And they say, oh, it's because an airplane flew through. Well, we know from Air Force history that this is cloud seeding using dry ice, and there's many pictures of this to back it up. So not everything you see is what they tell you it is. If you do a little research, you may find something different. cloud seeding can have silver iodide, indium liquid nitrogen. They can burn propane and send silver chloride, bismuth oxide, potassium chloride dissolved in acetone, and p-dichlorobenzene up into the air from burning it on the ground and then shooting it up into the clouds. They're using nanosilver now. Barium is noted in U.S. patents that may be used in Plumas County. We're doing the final testing to find out. And there's other types of cloud seeding operations, but the jets that lead the persistent contrails also modify your weather. Oops. The United States Air Force releases 500 tons of chaff, aluminum-coated fiberglass particles by the ton worldwide and in the United States without warning the public about potential health hazards in soil, water, and air. And aluminum-coated fiberglass particulates are big enough so that animals or they're small enough, I should say, so that animals can breathe them in. So this is another hazard that you're not told about, but the military uses it for doing different types of experiments. And I'm going to skip through here. This is tree decline in Mendocino County. And I wanted to go, Allan Buckmann had made this comment, and I'm going to be turning the microphone over to him in a couple of minutes. But one of the things he said to me when we first discussed an article is he said, I think we are in for big changes. And he said, I think we should be on this like a duck on a June bug. And this is serious as it gets. So I went to the Mendocino coast and I took photographs of Doug fir. I took photographs of dying of oak trees without sudden oak death syndrome. The redwoods were impacted, many, many trees. And so I'm going to be turning this over to Allan in just a second. I have a couple more things to say, and then I'm going to turn it over to him. These are trees in Mendocino County, dead and dying. These are symptoms of Monterey pine and Doug fir. Monterey pine and redwoods that are showing symptoms of decline in our county. And these trees will just start getting less and less foliage and then disappear. This is oak trees declining. They don't have sudden oak death where I took these photographs, but this is, you can see all the dead and dying limbs within the tree itself. These are not healthy trees near Lake Mendocino in Ukiah, California. This is on a golf course. We were told early on that it was drought that was causing the tree decline. So we took the pictures of the tree decline on the Ukiah golf course to show that it wasn't necessarily just drought. I'm going to go on from this. There are lightning experiments being conducted by the U.S. Air Force, a myriad of universities, government agencies, private individuals, corporations, and the U.S. military. And one of the things that the thousands of forest fires started by lightning between June 19th and 20th, 2008 in California, we think were one of these atmospheric experiments where they were conducting lightning experiments. Because California normally gets about, at most, 100 to 150 lightning strikes a year. We were getting 5,000 per hour in 2008 when Northern California started burning. And there were some unusual circumstances about this. Wildfires are burning hotter and higher than ever before in recorded history because once you start having dying trees, you start having a problem